Welcome to our Baxter Hearing video about tinnitus. If you suffer from tinnitus, you should start reducing your sodium intake. Many people add up to 10% of their daily sodium intake to the dishes they eat. Extra salt can lead to heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure. Additionally, salt may exacerbate tinnitus, as it increases blood pressure, making it flow fast throughout the body and to the ears. The more blood that flows to the ears, the worse the ringing in your ears becomes. Reducing sodium. Reducing sodium intake for tinnitus can make a big difference. The problem isn't limited to tinnitus. There are many foods you should avoid if you suffer from tinnitus. Alcohol and tobacco are two of the worst offenders. Not only do they increase the risk of tinnitus flare-ups, but they also add a significant amount of salt to your diet. Sodium also causes water retention and makes the symptoms of tinnitus worse. High sodium foods like ice cream are also problematic. Ice cream, for instance, is shockingly high in sodium, even if it doesn't taste salty. To counteract this, keep a close eye on the sodium content in your diet. In addition, you should avoid fast food restaurants, which are loaded with fat and sodium. Many of these places also serve ice creams and giant drinks. If you don't like cooking, you can choose foods low in sodium. Many packaged foods are packed with sodium. Cooking your meals can help you control the amount of salt you add to your food. Alternatively, you can look for companies in your area that prepare meals for you with lower sodium content. It's important to make the transition slowly, as it will take time to become accustomed to your new diet. Another way to decrease your tinnitus symptoms is by reducing your salt intake. Regular table salt is full of sodium chloride, which is the culprit. Salt constricts blood vessels, raising blood pressure and decreasing blood flow to the cochlea. Salt is also found in processed foods, like ketchup and soup. Even a single can of soup can contain more than the recommended daily allowance for salt. To reduce your salt intake for tinnitus, start by reading food labels. Many medications contain high levels of sodium. Additionally, soda contains both sugar and salt, which irritates the ears. You should try switching to lower sodium versions of soda. It's also important to read the nutrition facts of sodas. Soda can also aggravate your tinnitus. Reducing saturated fat. In addition to causing tinnitus, trans fats and saturated fats are also harmful to the body. These fats raise cholesterol levels and reduce good cholesterol, both of which are linked to cardiovascular diseases. They also plug up the arteries, causing a serious condition known as atherosclerosis, which increases the risk of stroke and heart disease. Furthermore, they reduce blood flow to the brain, preventing it from getting the oxygen and nutrients it needs. Excess sodium in the bloodstream can increase water retention, which increases pressure inside the ears. A simple experiment to test this theory is to eliminate sodium from your diet for a day. Eat your normal diet the next day. If you experience more tinnitus after eating high sodium foods, you should reduce your salt intake. It might help to monitor your sodium intake for a few days and see if it affects your tinnitus. Studies have shown that a diet low in salt and fat may help with persistent tinnitus. Interestingly, a diet rich in fish and omega-3 helps the brain function properly, and eating fish at least twice a week can help reduce the risk of age-related hearing loss and persistent tinnitus. Antioxidants, like vitamin D, also reduce the number of free radicals in the body. Before switching to a low-sodium diet for tinnitus, patients with tinnitus should seek medical advice to determine which foods are causing the symptoms. A food journal should be kept to track sodium intake, as significant increases may trigger tinnitus. By checking labels, individuals can reduce their sodium intake and keep their tinnitus under control. People with tinnitus should keep a food diary for a few weeks to see if their symptoms improve or worsen. People who find themselves unable to identify foods that trigger their symptoms can try cutting them out for a few weeks and reintroducing them later. In this way, they can tailor their diet to the symptoms that they experience. Once they find a combination of foods, they will be able to make the right choice for themselves. Reducing saturated fat for salt and dietary fiber are two other ways to care for your hearing. You should also avoid foods that make your symptoms worse. By following these tips, you can reduce the effects of both types of food on your tinnitus. And remember, the more you know, the more you can start caring for your hearing from the inside out. If you're looking for a way to treat your tinnitus, there's hope for you. Reducing trans fat. Reducing trans fats from your diet has multiple benefits. Saturated and trans fats raise your blood pressure and can lead to cardiovascular diseases. They can also damage the delicate balance between good and bad cholesterol. They also prevent your body from properly transporting nutrients to the inner ear. To get rid of these toxins, you must lower your salt intake. Cutting out salt is important to your overall health. Avoid fatty meat and processed foods. Fatty meats can worsen the symptoms of tinnitus. Fatty meat also contributes to weight gain and cardiovascular problems. Reduce your intake of these foods. Instead, try to eat a variety of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Many of these healthy choices will benefit your health. A few examples are pineapples, bananas, pears, and apples. In general, a healthy diet is important for tinnitus sufferers. A proper diet contains foods rich in vitamins and minerals. Avoid processed foods, nicotine, alcohol, and simple sugars. Processed foods often contain chemical preservatives, artificial sweeteners, and flavor enhancers. Try incorporating these guidelines into your diet to improve your overall health. Similarly, reducing dairy products and eggs has been associated with a reduced risk of persistent tinnitus. Dairy products and eggs are high in dietary cholesterol, and high levels of these two nutrients have been linked with higher levels of tinnitus symptoms. Wheat and sugar are not associated with tinnitus, but avoiding them may help you avoid your symptoms. The first step in determining whether your symptoms are caused by a particular food is to keep a food journal. This will help you identify the foods that worsen your symptoms. Try cutting these foods from your diet for 1 week and then reintroducing them gradually over a period of time. Your diary will also help you to tailor your diet to your specific symptoms. It will give you a better idea of what foods you should reduce. While medical opinions vary regarding dietary changes and tinnitus, there is limited research available. However, it is recommended to consult with your physician if your symptoms worsen. If you have a history of tinnitus, consult your doctor about the best diet for you. Reducing trans fats and salt in your diet may help you achieve relief from tinnitus. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.